Hello, Steve White, Steve White 89. Well, we finally got the Thundercats Cat's Lair reveal, and I'm not sure if this was intentional because it was the pictures were found on a site called Toy Realm, which is based in Singapore, and they seem to be the only people with the images. So it's not like it was a press release and like went out everywhere and suddenly it's everywhere, because it's been teased for a while, and I think everyone was expecting it to be, given the big reveal at Comic Con, which is not until the weekend. I think it starts on Friday technically. I don't know if it starts Thursday night and Friday is part of it. I've never been. I haven't paid that much attention to it because when you can't go to something, you kind of don't want to, dwell on it too much. So I usually just look after the fact at what's revealed, and I don't know pay attention to the whole thing. But I'm not sure exactly when it would have been revealed. But I think this was a mistake. But so maybe these pictures will disappear sooner or later because they haven't been up for that long. But it's interesting. We don't see a lot more than what we've already seen because we've seen most of it at this point. We saw the front and people sort of made up images from all the parts we'd seen from all the different pictures and that. And it does open up like the 2002 Castle Grayskull behind me with 3 walls. So you sort of have the 2 half walls on the side of the main one. I don't really like that. I liked the Castle Grayskull version basically, that sort of that example where it sort of is like a dollhouse and it closes on itself, and it's a solid unit. It opens up and it closes. I've got my Origins Castle Grayskull, my original Castle Grayskull, sitting on the floor. They're either closed like a fort, or they're like that, so you can see on the inside. So it feels big, even though it's 2. It sort of works. I like it. But yeah, the Classics was much bigger. And the Snake Mountain is much bigger. Now this one is 36 inches tall. Snake Mountain is 38 inches tall. So Snake Mountain is still taller. And this is 29 inches wide, which means the 2 half ones will be like 15. So it is really big, and it's going to dwarf anything else, which I don't like it because it feels too big in some ways, because it does dwarf everything else, but then also you have to make room for it. And I'm not sure how many people are going to be able to do this, because apparently it's a crowdfunding project, so they have to get enough people actually knowing they're going to buy this and actually have room for it in their house. So I don't know if it's going to do as well as they think. But I mean, Castle Grayskull and Snake Mountain sold. But so yeah, we basically see one side has like an engineering room with Panthros, workbench and stuff like that, and cables for the Fundrillium and stuff like that. The other side is like the little conference room with a table and everything. And we have the 2 staircases, and in the center we have the sword chamber, and behind that we have a little Fundrillium chamber or something, which is right at the front. The main entrance just has space on either side. It doesn't seem to be really used for anything. It's just like a waste of space, but I guess that's the space where the characters can play out their little dramas. The top section is the control room, and it does look like maybe the screen's going to be lit because, it's back onto the front section where the Thundercats symbol is. That's probably going to be lit. Looks like maybe the image on the screens will be interchangeable. It's hard to tell. I'm a little bit worried about how flimsy. When you look at the exploded view and all the parts that make up the bottom, because the 2 cat's paws lift up and there's like guns under them. But it all looks kind of flimsy where parts sort of clip together. It's not like a solid piece like Castle Grayskull. So I am a little bit worried about that being flimsy and not being as durable and movable and as functional as the other ones. Because some people may think they're a bit basic and simple, but there's some beauty to that simplicity. Whereas you have pieces that are a lot of separate parts and you got to click them together and they break over time. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sold on this. The other issue is you can see over the top of the mountain range, because when you open it up, you get the mountains on either side. So that kind of works in a way. I still don't like it. It kind of displays well, but it still doesn't really work for me. And the other thing that doesn't work for me is the back. We could see before that you could see in, that the roof was higher than the mountains, so you could see in, which doesn't make any sense. We just make the mountains higher, so it closes that gap. But the way they've got it actually protrudes out on an angle, and the edge of the castle sits out over the mountain range, which doesn't make any sense to me, except some people suggested it's probably a handle so you can lift it up, and I'm like, well, that makes sense, but I don't think it looks good. So I'm not entirely sold on this for many reasons. There's a few little things that bother me, but the other issue is the size. But it's also a bit of a gateway toy, because if I get this, it's going to make my Castle Grayskulls and my Snake Mountain and my Crystal Castle look small. And if I get like the original Cats Lair and the Ghostbusters thing and the other Ghostbusters house, it's going to make them all look small. And I'm going to want Castle Grayskull and the Snake Mountain to sort of balance it out, which means it's like collecting. It's like starting a new collection, because I've been collecting the 7-inch toys, but not the 7-inch vehicles or play sets. And it's like, if I get this, I'm going to end up getting the Thunder Tank and the other things. It's a whole, you know, gateway thing. So I don't know, but what do you think? I'm going to go, bye.